This new reality is of a completely new design. The ways we've navigated through our old world was completely different to how we will now. In this book you will hear ways that I personally create the world that I desire, and in between that I will speak on my personal stories. My first book was great and explained so much of my perceptions. In this book I want to give you more of that, but also more of me. I reflect on times where I began the journey of becoming fully realized, and it's such a dramatic difference in the ways I move now. The goal was to be able to see God in every person, situation, circumstance, and event. Seeing beyond what was displayed was extremely hard when the roles were being played so well. I mean, Oscar-worthy. As we know, God not only lives in everything but lives as everything. With this knowing, regardless of display, I had to begin to perceive that way. The more I was able to perceive that way, I effectively liberated the material world from my misconceptions. This freed my energy up to be molded in ways that were never possible with the old perception of matter being stuck in time. With the infinite amounts of perceptions floating around in the energy field of humanity, it can be hard holding higher thoughts steady enough to change the conditioning of many lifetimes. When we begin to strengthen our truth energetically, we begin to notice subtle yet profound changes in our behaviors, attitudes, and reactions to life's happenings. Not only does our behavior towards life change, but it seems that life's behavior towards us changes as well. It seemed to me that life was more attracted to me than ever before. The birds acted differently towards me, the trees seemed to speak directly to me, and the humans' behavior towards me changed dramatically. The thoughts that I was in with my environment made me a magnet to all of life. This is a game of resonance, a game of energy. Our thoughts are one with our physical world. Some would say our world is made up of a thought like energy. All of it is made up of the same energy, so when you think about something in the physical world with interest, you invoke its energy. This is because we've labeled matter and given names to a reality that only appears to be filled with diversity. Does this sound familiar to you at all? We experience this type of reality every night. When we dream, the concepts that I've spoken of are in full effect. Our so-called physical world and the dream world we visit share the same qualities, just in different vibrations. Once we are able to perceive this in our waking life, the way life flows to and around us changes dramatically. As I said before, there are so many perceptions floating around in the ether that it can be so hard to keep your mental activity high vibratory. It is important that we're able to stand strong in our truth during times of stress, because whatever that stress seems to be is serving to test your resolve. Most humans aren't aware of these reality-altering mentalities. On second thought, most aren't aware that they are the creators of their reality. Once you begin to approach life in this new way, you can come across lots of resistance. Solitude is a beautiful experience. When you are newly awakened, you have the chance to reprogram and strengthen your new belief system so that you're able to live your truth in the midst of the endless mindsets in the human energy field. Allowing people the freedom to think and move on earth as they please is ideal. The energy that you'll save by not forcing your beliefs on others is tremendous. Your newly found sense of power and purpose can drive you to become a so-called savior of humanity. You will learn that what humanity really needs is for you to walk your truth as a shining example in all that you choose to do. This doesn't mean that you can't speak your truth or write a book, smiles, but it means that what's meant for people will come to them. It will never have to be forced. With all this new energy, it's time to dream, and dream big. Our imagination gives us a special quality as human beings. The energy of our imagination is breathtaking. Our physical world reacts to our imaginative happenings. We feed the field of potential when we think clearly and with intent. When I began my journey, the energy of physicality was very dense, but in my mind I thought that my powers would return in an instant. Little did I know I had to truly put in that inner work to strengthen the belief in what I was imagining into existence. In these moments, it is far easier to connect with your higher levels of self-belief and confidence in your creative abilities. You can say parts of yourself did the so-called dirty work on behalf of the greater self. Believing in yourself and the universe is one of the greatest tools you have in manifesting your desired frequency. In the modern world, the belief in oneself is almost shunned. We need money, clothing, and other worldly possessions to feel a sense of worthiness. Not to mention, on the way to gaining these things, you have to have a certain level of self-belief. What a whirlwind! Being satisfied with who we are and what we have now will breed a sense of self-worth and gratitude. We have to know that we are already enough and that lack of wealth or human status can't change this. When you give yourself permission to trust in a source that is greater than the body, greater than the ego, you create space for miracles to occur. It is known that our hearts beat without our conscious participation and the blood runs through the body without a conscious command. This is also true for our reality. Things can flow for us in that same way. Can you imagine a being that already knows what we desire before we are even conscious of it? If we can bypass the human mind chatter, we'll sense this presence and connect fully to it. Everyday life will change, well, at least how you relate to it. Things will seem to be more symbolic than ever, reflecting your mental happenings. Things will stick out to you more, they will mean something to you, you will just know. Signs, symbols, and intuition rule the day, just like in a dream life becomes a literal treasure hunt. I don't bother showing people my synchronistic events, people, places, or things that appear an unusually amount of times, because most just dismiss it as a chance happening. For you it will mean something, and it won't matter who thinks otherwise. Since the collective is programmed with general reactions and limiting belief systems, the potency of your thoughts and emotions will affect everyone you come into contact with. I say that because in the midst of us trying to create the world of our desires with the tools we have within, we will be changing the lives of so many souls. Follow the signs, serve others more than you'd like to be served, and you will see magic like you never thought possible.